I feel like I've been slow playing this. The reason we're back to talk to you, you got amps again.
Yeah.
People are excited about it. Mm-hmm. What excites you about bringing amps back? Why? Why was that an overhaul that you needed to do?
I needed to do it because I already knew that the amp was a no-brainer. The amp's never failed.
Yeah.
I've had too many fails with my digital world. You know, not as far as like mechanical fails, but from where my rig has always been throughout my life to where it is now. When I went to the all digital realm is when I took on a world of pain that I was not expecting, and you all saw the last rig rundown, and
yeah.
I told everybody, I was like, I absolutely hate that thing. I was in a bad place with my equipment, like just hated how everything sounded, you know. And it was for, I mean, the most little tiniest of things, you know what I mean? And so after going through all these different versions of my hybrid, you know, like I've had the Helix set up running into a Fryette power amp now for the last, I don't know, 4 years maybe.
Okay.
And that's been as solid as I've had my hybrid sound going, you know. And in fact, we could actually bring that rig out right now, and I think we'd still crush, you know, no problem.
Yeah.
But like I said, when it came down to it, you know, it's like I'm using I'm getting my sound digital. It was a digital source, and I had made multiple configurations of this. And one day, when we were gearing up for the last leg of this tour earlier this year, when we were in rehearsals, I just reset my amp blocks and all my presets. I was like, just put it back to the factory state, right? And it turned out that the factory programming of the amp block itself was perfect. I was like, don't even touch it.
Yeah.
And that's been my mentality when it comes to all the equipment. Like, for instance, like I have all the Strymon Big Sky timeline and the Mobius in here. I only use the factory presets in there. I don't touch any knobs no more. And the reason I do this now, and I'll give you all this advice, is if your gear ever craps out and you ain't got it backed up, them sounds are gone for life.
Yeah.
You'll never get them back. Factory presets, however, are right there. If anything happens, breaks, act of God, whatever, go get a new one. Plug it right back in. Boom.
Sounds like that's coming from experience.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all it is, literally. So, I keep everything like that. But as far as the amp goes, like I said, when I put the amp block in the factory setting, you know, default, it dialed it up, and at that very moment was when I was like, well, why are we even fighting this anymore? You know what I mean? Because what I wanted to get out of the amp block, I knew I could get out of here, and I wasn't going to ever get it out of that. And that thing that I specifically looked for, or was looking for, was that low end punch, and that thing that the depth knob provides, like that kind of like sub low, right? You know, your 80 or below kind of frequencies, right?
And you were running that you said earlier before we started rolling that you were having an actual Uberschall or Wagner setting on the Helix, right?
No, that's what I used the Uberschall block that's in the Helix.
Yeah.
And when I actually go back to, like I said, my other rig where the Helix is the only thing for the source sound in it, that's the block that I'm using in it.
Yeah. Now, did you use any amps or maybe these Wagner specific to with working with Nick on private music, or is it kind of a hybrid approach again with some of the presets, the Axe effects?
Working on private music, I brought a whole pile of amps of mine. I've been collecting heads over the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years. Not forever, but definitely in the last 10 years. And they weren't getting used at all. They were just piling up. I was just collecting them. And when we went to go do this one, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to bring all those down. You know, because I was like, how can you fail? I was like, these are, you know, 100 watt, you know, tube amps. You know, I got all the stuff I need, brought them down, and we went through the whole pot. We used every take we did, we put on another amp. We just kept going through them. And every time, you know, Greg's in there, I'm literally just sitting around playing. I'm not even touching. I never touched the amp once. Greg did everything on the amps in the studio. And I didn't have nothing. I didn't have no complaints.
It keeps you free.
Yeah.
So you can just play.
Absolutely. And but again, here there was something that happened, like when you the actual organic sound of these amps, you know, like that, the feel, the whole thing, you know, the response when you're playing. I was like, all right, yeah, no, that's it, you know, and that's when we were like, all right, we're rebuilding this shit.
Call Uncle Dave up, be like, hey, I got a situation.
Yeah. So the idea of, you know, of building these started the beginning of last year, maybe even the end of 23. We might have started talking about it then.
Yeah.
They physically weren't constructed until after they started before the last leg, but they just got completed like before we were coming out here.
Okay. What's been your experience or enjoyment kind of back to this rig, you know, the time you have spent with it so far?
It's all encompassing, you know. I have everything is isolated, so my actual primary tone is the Ubershaw Ultra. That's where all the sound's coming from.
Okay.
But should I ever elect to build a preset in my Axe effects now, it's going to come out the heads. It's purely the preamp now going in there, but it'll still be an amp.
Yeah.
That's actually delivering that, you know, the body of the sound, and that's ultimately why I'm back on the tubes. I know we can do incredible things digitally, and I am not here to bash on that in any way, because I still love and appreciate it.
Clearly.
I still use it. But for me, what I need, what I feel, what I want is coming out of an actual amp.